Phoenix. Beautiful morning. Do I dare say it's a little chillier than the past few days? And if I think this is chilly, I don't even know what's going to happen when I go to Idaho tomorrow. It's good to be with you today for day 8, I guess you could say, of the trial. We're going to call it day 8, even though the jury won't be there today. Instead, what's going to happen here in just a few minutes, about an hour from now, Lori Vallow and her defense team and the prosecution's team are going to get together with the judge and all agree on jury instructions. The instructions that will be read to the jurors on Monday after there's closing arguments. Okay, can everybody hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Hi, I think you can hear me. Otherwise you'd be saying, I can't hear you. Good to see where you're all watching from. Okay, yes, they got me. Good, you got me. Quick recap of what happened yesterday. The one witness for the prosecution, Detective Nathan Duncan, was on the stand all day long. And then Lori Vallow cross-examined him. And then the state said, we rest. And then Lori Vallow said that she felt the state did not prove their case and asked the judge to toss it. The state responded and said, no, we did prove our case. They both had these prepared statements, you could say, that they read. It's more of a procedural type thing. The judge said, no, there is enough evidence that was presented that a jury could find you guilty. Not going to grant your request. And then Lori said, okay, then I rest. Well, she rested outside the presence of the jury. So she could still change her mind, and the judge said she could, if she decides to testify on Monday, she could, but she needs to let him know if that's going to happen. The interesting thing is that she has no other witnesses, she has no other testimony, so it would just be her. I will be shocked if she changes her mind. Lori loves to be in control. If you couldn't tell, she likes to be in charge. And if she goes on the witness stand, sure, she can be in charge of what her defense counsel asks her, but she has no control over what the prosecution asks. And many of you asked, well, what happens if she takes the stand and pleads the fifth or says, I'm not going to answer that? Well, for a normal witness, you'd be in contempt of court and could go to jail. I don't know what they do with her, though. I guess you could say, though, it just won't look good in front of the jury. The jury's going to be like, why isn't she answering the questions? She has nothing to hide. If she's truly not guilty, why isn't she answering the questions? So we'll see if she takes the stand. If she doesn't, then the jury takes the case. And they have to decide if she is guilty or not guilty of of conspiracy to commit murder. And whether they take an hour or whether they take a day or whether they take a week to decide that is to be determined. So for today here, Lori was being brought over from the jail a little early, I think around 10-ish. She's probably on her way right now. And she's going to meet with her defense team privately to go over these jury instructions. And then the prosecution is going over them. And then they'll get together with the judge. And how it worked in Idaho is the judge said there was a lot of instructions. I don't know, 30, 40, like you go line by line. And those are the instructions they need to follow when they go inside to deliberate. And so how Judge Boyce did it in Idaho was he said, all right, it appears no one has any issues on instruction number 1 through 20. What about 21, 22, 23, 24? It went fairly quick. I imagine today will be fairly quick unless one side has an issue with how one thing is worded or not. And then we break for the weekend. For Easter weekend, I'm going to sit down here before I head inside. We break for Easter weekend, and then first thing Monday morning, it's closing arguments, and then the instructions, and then we go off. It's off to the deliberations. Okay, I know you have a bunch of questions. Why isn't she eligible for the death penalty? Because it's not a first-degree murder charge in Arizona. If it was first-degree murder, and there was aggravating factors, meaning it was especially heinous, or a police officer was shot, or the law defines what an aggravating factor is, and then the bar is higher on those type of cases. So that is why. Why wasn't any of the video from Tylee or Charles brought in? Because, oh, thank you, Jennifer and Julie. How nice of you. What a cute little, what is that, a fox? That's awesome. Thank you for helping us, supporting us. It's hearsay. And you know what? Tonight on Courtroom Insider with Rachel Smith. Rachel Smith is our special guest, and Alan Browning, a defense attorney. They're going to join me tonight. We're going to talk about all of your questions that you guys have had. But basically, even though Charles is no longer here to authenticate the video, it is hearsay. It's his words. And it's Tylee's words. That's why they haven't brought in those videos. And that's why they didn't bring in they could have, I guess they could have played the call that Chad made to the funeral home. But again, he would probably have to authenticate that. Do they really want to have Chad Daybell come in and authenticate it? So we're going to talk about all that stuff. Someone's asking if I'm surprised it went this fast. I don't think so. I actually thought it might be done in a week or two. And actually, I guess if you look at the number of days it has, because we're on day 8, and some of those days have been short. The prosecutor originally said 1 to 2 weeks, and then when Lori Vallow decided to represent herself, they said, "Oh, we're going to need a little bit more time." Fiber, floozy crafts, that's fun. Thank you. And Lonnie, wow, you all, thank you. You're making me get lunch, so I appreciate that. So yeah, that's how it will work. Did any of Lori's cross-examination land? I don't know. That's a good question. You'd have to, I guess we'll see. All it takes is one juror to have a question, to raise some doubt, to be like, no, maybe Charles really was bullying. I don't know. Nate, am I going home for the weekend? I am. I am going home, not you. Maybe you're going home. I am going home to Idaho and going to be there through Easter, through Sunday. But we will do Courtroom Insider tonight. I'm excited about tonight. And then maybe tomorrow I'll do one with my wife from home, and we'll see, and maybe answer your questions. I don't know. We might just want to unplug, but I know you guys really like when Erica comes on and we could be together. And then Sunday night I'll do a here's what we can expect type of a thing. So yeah, we'll continue on with Courtroom Insider, but going home to Idaho, looking forward to going home for Easter weekend, seeing the kids. Could Lori write a book? She could write a book, but she cannot make money off of it. There's slayer laws, which in Idaho you cannot, I think here too, you cannot make money off of your crimes. Nate, you really have to do an interview with Zach Cox. I'd love to talk to Zach. I think it would be great. I'll reach out and see if he'll talk. I've spoken with Zach in the past, not on the record, but he's done a few interviews, and then it would be great. Is your wife afraid Lori might cast a spell on me? You know, in the early days of this case, we were a little scared. There were some weird things happening in our office. Right after I went to Hawaii, we hired security for our office, and the police department went by my house and we put up cameras. I don't know if they were tied to Lori or not, but we were a little nervous. I'm flying into Idaho Falls today. Hey, Kira, that's great. Good. When she's found guilty, will she go back to Idaho to serve her time? Yes. Regardless of the verdict here, guilty, not guilty, she'll head back. Now, I don't know if she waits here till after the appeals. I doubt it. I think she'll go back to Idaho, and then while they work on the appeals here, assuming she appeals, she might just say, forget it, I'm not going to appeal anything, but she's likely going to appeal. Man, you guys are all so generous. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, someone's asking, does all the money go to me? I guess technically no, but it goes to help me stay in Arizona and cover these trials, so I can say, look, the trip was worth going. Someone's asking about the other trial. I'll be back for that. That one, jury selection is supposed to start on the 30th of May, and then the trial will be all throughout June. It's like the first 2 weeks, and then we have a week break, and then it's scattered throughout. Please interview Howard Bloom. I have Fiber Floozy. I interviewed him about the Idaho 4, the Kohberger trial. If you can find it on our YouTube channel, and I'll have to have him back on. So he wrote a book about the Kohberger trial, and yes, I'm planning to cover that. It's snowing in Pocatello. Oh, wonderful! After the hearing today, I'm gonna go back to the hotel and put on my shorts and flip-flops. Not looking forward to that. Is trial about to start? No. Well, kind of. The hearing will start in about, well, I think around 10:30 Arizona time, which is about an hour from now. So I'll have to let you know with that, with what's going on there. Well, thank you. I appreciate that I'm looking handsome. What is the other trial? The other trial is Brandon Boudreaux, the attempted shooting on him. Are you interviewing Nancy Jo? Please do it. I have requested an interview with Nancy Jo. I would love to talk to her. So hopefully that works out. I've also requested interviews with the prosecution team, the defense team. I plan to stay in after the verdict next week, assuming we get a verdict. I'm going to stick around Arizona for a few days just to try to get some interviews with different people. Today's hearing will be streamed. Yes, we will stream it. I don't know how exciting it's going to be honest with you. It's going to be a lot of back and forth, but you never know. You never know. It could be exciting. I hope the jury caught Chad's wife, Tammy. Yes. Has she officially rested? She is not officially rested. She said she's going to rest, but she has not rested in front of the jury. Will I interview Summer again? I would love to interview Summer again. And someone asked if she's going to be at CrimeCon. I'm not sure. I think that they are working on their CrimeCon lineup for September. So if you're in Denver, would love to meet you. When are you and my family coming to London? That would be amazing. We are actually talking about doing an overseas trip next year or the year after, when our youngest can maybe appreciate it a bit more, like saving up our money and maybe going to Australia and New Zealand. So that would be great. I need a verdict before Karen Reed's trial start. When does Karen's trial start? Did they pick a jury on that one? Honestly, I've been so tuned into this one, I haven't been following Karen Reed much. So let me know if they picked a jury. Is Lori going to be her lawyer at the next trial? Yes, she is. As far as we know, she could change her mind, but I think for now she is. Same prosecutors for Brandon case? Yes, and I'd love to interview Brandon as well. I've spoken with Brandon. I don't think he'll do any interviews until after his trial, if he does any. He's kind of laid low, and can't blame him for that. Okay, Karen Reed starts Tuesday. Well, then wouldn't that be perfect? If we get a verdict Monday, then you all can go right into Karen Reed. I won't be going to Karen Reed's. I'm going to go home and prepare for the next trial. But yeah, that would be interesting. If I guess I could go work for like Court TV and jump around. Do you really? Lori's ready to leave. Said she's ready to leave jail and get into the prison. Do you really think she'll like it better? From what I have heard, Lori doesn't mind the Pocatello prison in Idaho. She liked the wardens. She liked the view. It's actually, that sounds crazy, the view. It's on the top of a mountain, and it's actually a very beautiful view. And she liked the people. She does not like it in Maricopa County. So, yeah, I really do think that she is ready to go. The accommodations here aren't the best from what she says. Pocatello doesn't want her. Well, okay. Does she have until Monday to decide about testifying? She does. Maybe the judge will ask her today and she can officially say no. I would be shocked, pleasantly shocked, if she does decide to testify. Another Summer Shiflett interview is due. I'll reach out to Summer and see if she'll talk. I think we do have questions now with all of the stuff that came in yesterday, how much Summer knew and what her involvement. So yeah, I'll see if she'll talk. Does the judge pick the penalty or the jury? The judge does. The judge will sentence her. I don't know if he'll sentence her and how quickly he will sentence her, but we'll see exactly how that works. But he will sentence her. He might wait until after Brandon's trial and do it all at once, or he might sentence her in 30 days. We'll see. Hoping to meet me at CrimeCon. I hope to meet you too. It's going to be a really fun CrimeCon this year, and we're working on, I was talking with them just the other morning about some possible panels that I could do, and I pushed for some Daybell themed ones for some good guests, not just me, but some other people. So yeah, if you can make it, that'd be great. Would she be allowed to use Chad as a witness? I think she could try. Morning. I think she could try to do that, but I don't know if the prosecution would really like that. and they might fight to have him come in. The prosecution, if you'll notice, has really downplayed Chad in this trial because the more you bring him in, the more you bring Alex in, the more they could say, the more the defense could say, it was those guys, and Lori got sucked into it. They really wanted to keep it focused on Chad, or on Lori, not Chad. Nate Line, we thought about, somebody, my friend Tony at the last trial said, hey, you should change the name of Courtroom Insider to Nate Line. And someone made up a shirt or something. We didn't. I didn't want to get in trouble with NBC. Oh, but speaking of Dateline, today they just dropped an episode, as we've been talking, on their True Crime Weekly show with Andrea Canning. I spoke this week about the latest on Daybell. You can go listen to that if you want, and that would be great. No, I have not interviewed any of Chad's kids. I would love to. Hopefully will one day, but we'll have to see. Chad is so eloquent. She'd never throw him under the bus. Would you interview the current jury? Yes, I already. There's a duck or something out here. I would love to interview the jury and at least some of the jurors, and I've already made the request to the court. And it might be one of those things where the judge, arranges it kind of for all the media that want it. All right, I think I'm going to head inside. Any more last minute? Does she talk to Chad? From what I understand, they don't talk at all. Why do you think Moffat wasn't called? That was a good question. He was on the list. I think that maybe they felt they wanted to end with Duncan because he was kind of the main case agent through all of it. And he had the knowledge. He knew the stuff, and Moffat was on at the beginning. And maybe they just felt that end with him. But yeah, there was another guy on the list too that they didn't call. Why is Melanie not arrested? Clearly she was involved. Again, I don't know the answer to that. It was probably the fact that they wanted to be sure they could get a conviction, kind of like how they didn't charge Chad here, and they said they just didn't feel that they would have enough for a jury to convict. That's probably what they maybe would have felt about Melanie, that they just couldn't. They wanted to be sure that they could get it, if that makes sense. And these are, by the way, all questions that I plan to ask the prosecutor. Hopefully, Trina Kay will do an interview with me when this thing wraps up. I have requested it and hope that it'll happen. I'm going to head into court right now. I'm here at the courthouse, and this is where, if you come out, you can come out today. And how you doing? I'm going to log off now so I can talk to you. All right, everybody. Somebody here waiting to talk to me. I hope you have a great day. We will have the live stream here going, my updates in about 45 minutes. Okay.